All right, now we're going to work on the neck and the body. And I've brought this new reference in, not for the head. I like this head position better, it's more active, but for the curve of the neck, and especially how it integrates into the chest from the front. So this is the part I want to keep, but I want lots of overlap, so I'm going to take all of this. Maybe even just the whole body structure here. And then duplicate it onto its own layer, so it cuts it out. Layer am I on? There we go. And move this over. But then I also want to use this neck, because I think that stronger curve and shorter neck is more what I have in mind. So I'm going to overlap that. And in my assembly line way, I'm going to build the neck and chest together and put it with that eagle and with the wings before I connect it to the head and weld it together. So at a low opacity, I'm going to match the anatomy here. Line up this neck with the long neck. Now I'm going to cut these out. Nice that it had a dark background, pretty easy to cut out. And now I'm going to blend it in. So I know, for instance, that I want the feathers from the other reference to come through and overtake the neck here and definitely cover up this wing. But I need those feathers to be soft edge, so I'm using a soft eraser. And I want more of that texture than I need. I want to be able to overlap it with the eagle's chest. See how that works? Now I want to match the color a little bit. So I'm going to go to this layer underneath, play with its color balance, shift it definitely more towards the reds and the magentas, and in the highlights a little bit more towards the warms. And then in the shadows a little bit more towards the greens and the blues. And then I'm going to have to do a levels adjustment to it as well to deepen those shadows on the neck there. Brighten the highlights a little bit. And then I can burn it just in the midtones. See how effective that is. And making that lighting feel similar to what was already there. Now I've got the challenge of bringing that whole neck together and cutting it out appropriately. And I've kind of worked with the areas I'm most concerned about. Gosh, I love all that feather texture, so I'm going to keep this just in case. But all of this stuff, I'm fairly certain I'm not using. From these different references. And now cutting this out appropriately. I don't know if the magic wand's going to help me much there. Oh, maybe. Doesn't need to be perfectly accurate, because these are just stray feathers. But I'm going to use the tools to help me as much as I can. Then I'll clean it up by hand, you know, when I need to later on. All right, so now I'm going to take that portion finesse this a little bit more. And I'm going to move this behind the head I've already designed. So I take both these layers. Select both these layers, move them together, and shrink them down. Angle them to match the anatomy. And move them behind my head. And I can use a little chain link button underneath the layers to just always link them together. So now I have the head all linked together. So when I move one of them, it will move all of them, and I have these two linked together. And this will help me make this transition. So let's see. Let me make the head less opaque so I can see this transition clearly. So the curve's about there. Let's see how I can make that work. And I'm going to do it with a copy, just because I'm going to be erasing here and kind of experimenting. So, soft brush, about the size of an eraser, head, transitioning it into this neck I've designed. only erasing at 40% opacity. Now I'm going to start taking that even down more. So I transition really slowly between the two. I can control that texture. To do about this big thing. Let's see. Let's take it out for the moment. I want it to look like the head's, coiling back like that. I like this ruffling of feathers right there. That can help. But I think I want that to overlap this. Okay, so now I'm going to take a portion from this and duplicate it on its own, and then try to transition that. With more finesse. Okay, now we're talking about lighting and coloring and all of that. So at this point, once I have most of it worked out, I can merge them together. Move it down just a little bit. Out. I can even just stretch it a tiny bit to fit the anatomy. Pinch it. All those different layers together. That's going to help. Okay, so now what I want to do is take all of those head layers, except for this one. So I'm going to unlink it, take all my linked layers, and just go to Layer, Command E, which is merge layers when you have multiple selected. So now all of that is on one layer, which allows me to dodge and burn it and adjust it. And then with the neck, it's a little bit more complicated. Let's see. I haven't yet decided all that I need to delete. All right, that helps. So I definitely need to get rid of this head in the background here. Good. The sketch is kind of making it hard for me to see all the edges, so what I'm going to do is add, using my guides, add a block over that, and then we'll pick it up from there. So I'm just going to fill, using my guides, with a layer of pure white.